Assalamu alaikum, and thank you for joining us for the weekly briefing. I will begin by sharing our condolences at the unfortunate incident of the capsized boat off the coast of Greece, in which several Pakistanis are feared dead. Our hearts go out to all the victims and their families. We have briefed the media on the developments. To recap, 12 Pakistani nationals are among the 104 survivors. They are in good physical condition. Unfortunately, we have been unable to verify the number and identity of Pakistani nationals among the deceased and missing. The Greek authorities have recovered 84 bodies. Their identification will take place through DNA matching. Relevant authorities have started collecting DNA samples from the families of those suspected to be on board and will be sharing this with the Greek authorities. Ambassador Amir Aftab and his team at our mission in Greece have worked round the clock for recovery and identification of Pakistani nationals who are missing or feared dead and for providing relief to the survivors. Foreign Minister Bilawal Bhutto Zardari has spoken to his Greek counterpart to discuss arrangements for the recovery of the missing, identification of the bodies, and providing relief to the survivors. Our efforts will continue. Prime Minister Mohammad Shehbaz Sharif is in Paris to attend the new Global Financing Pact Summit at the invitation of President of France, Emmanuel Macron, from 22nd to 23rd of June. Today, the Prime Minister will address the summit. He will present Pakistan's perspective and proposals for reform of international financial institutions, climate finance, green infrastructure, attainment of SDGs, and solutions related to debt. The Prime Minister will also hold meetings with participating leaders, including the President of South Africa, Prime Minister of China, and President of the European Commission. An important development this week was the visit of Deputy Foreign Minister of Russia to Islamabad and the fifth round of bilateral political consultations co-chaired by the Deputy Foreign Minister and Foreign Secretary Dr. Asad Majid Khan. The two sides engaged in comprehensive and productive discussions to further strengthen bilateral cooperation, deepen understanding on regional and global developments, and enhance cooperation and dialogue in the context of multilateral organizations, including the United Nations and Shanghai Cooperation Organization. The Foreign Secretary also visited Iran for the 12th round of Pakistan-Iran bilateral political consultations. The two sides agreed to enhance and diversify bilateral trade and expand cooperation in energy, transport connectivity, education, and people-to-people exchanges. The 13th session of the Pakistan-European Union Joint Commission is currently underway in Brussels. Secretary Economic Affairs Division, Dr. Qasim Niaz, is leading the Pakistan delegation, while the EU side is led by Deputy Managing Director of Asia Pacific Division of the European External Action Service. The subgroup of the Joint Commission on Development and the subgroup on Trade have met on the 20th and 21st of June, respectively. The two sides discussed Pakistan-EU Development Partnership, GSP Plus, and the upcoming new GSP Plus scheme, Market Access for Pakistan. The subgroup on Democracy, Governance, Rule of Law, and Human Rights will meet today. Discussions of the plenary sessions to be held tomorrow will focus on migration and mobility, climate change, cooperation in education, culture, science, and information technology. Formed in 2007, the Pakistan-EU Joint Commission sets the priorities for development cooperation between Pakistan and the European Union, makes recommendations for promoting mutually agreed priorities, and oversees implementation of sectoral agreements. Pakistan strongly condemns the recent raid by Israeli occupation forces on Jenin refugee camp, in which 4 Palestinians, including a 14-year-old, was killed and more than 40 civilians were injured. We pray for the speedy recovery of the injured and once again urge the international community to take prompt action to protect the Palestinian people. Pakistan believes that peaceful resolution of the issue lies in the implementation of the two-state solution. We call for the establishment of an independent state of Palestine based on pre-1967 borders with Al-Quds al-Sharif as its capital. Earlier this week, the international community commemorated the World Refugee Day. This day is a reminder of the suffering of Kashmiris who have been evicted from their land and forced to live in exile. They were forced to leave violence, persecution, and gross human rights abuses. Thousands of people of Jammu and Kashmir are spending a homeless life and are unable to return to their homeland. India must bring an end to the climate of fear and persecution in IIOJK and bring peace in the lives of the Kashmiri people. Pakistan will continue to extend political, diplomatic, and moral support to our Kashmiri brothers and sisters for the just and peaceful settlement of the Jammu and Kashmir dispute in accordance with the UN Security Council resolutions. Now, some upcoming announcements. Foreign Minister Bilawal Bhutto Zardari will undertake an official visit to Japan on 2nd to 3rd of July at the invitation of Japanese Foreign Minister. In Tokyo, the Foreign Minister will hold substantive talks with Foreign Minister Hayashi. They will discuss bilateral trade and investment, cooperation in science and technology, education, information technology, culture, and human resource development. They will also discuss important regional and global developments and cooperation and dialogue in multilateral forums. The second round of bilateral political consultations between Pakistan and Kazakhstan will be held on 26th of June, 2023 in Astana, Kazakhstan. Additional Foreign Secretary of Afghanistan and West Asia, Ambassador Syed Ehsan Raza Shah, will lead the Pakistan delegation, while the Kazakh side will be led by Deputy Minister for Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Tomyest. The two sides will review the entire spectrum of bilateral relations in political, trade, economic, connectivity, science and technology, and cultural and people-to-people relations. The inaugural session of the bilateral political consultations between Pakistan and Kazakhstan was held on 28th of February 2020 in Islamabad. Thank you. Anas.